heading to a YouTube event. Let me tell you how I got here. Kind of a like somewhat crazy story. Changing careers, going through all this stuff in my life, and was just kind of like, really was seeking something that had always been my passion, which was trucking. And I found out that I had loved it so much that I'm like, you know what? I should start a YouTube channel. I mean, just totally on a whim. This wasn't planned. This wasn't. I was just kind of like, and really what led me to do it is at the time I was watching a bunch of other like YouTube truckers, and I gained a lot of stuff from their like content, but there was so much stuff that it was like it was recorded and it was like, all choppy and shaky. And I'm not knocking these guys. Everybody can make content exactly how they want. I'm not here to tell people how to do it right or to tell them that they're doing it wrong. But it was just like, I'd watch some of this stuff and I would enjoy their content so much, but I'd be sitting there kind of wishing like, man, I wish that this were like the camera were level, or that I could see them or something like that. And I'm not one to talk. If you've seen any of my stuff, you know that I have my lighting and my audio mistakes. Those happen. So, I mean, I don't want to be too critical of them when here I am doing the same thing. But long story short, it's like, I just decided to start a YouTube channel. Totally out of my character, definitely not in my skill set. Sitting in this car, driving by myself, talking to this camera right now, I feel awkward. I wonder about like the people driving by me, like, they're like, what's that guy doing? I mean, I spend a lot of time in my head, and sometimes that's not a good thing. But so started a YouTube channel, kind of gave it 110%, as my dad would say. It just, I just wanted to really just kind of put my heart and soul into it, and started doing it. What's my trick? And you might be wondering, like, why is this guy with a sub, 10,000? I have like 5,000 subscribers. What's this guy doing giving advice on, a YouTube channel? I'm really not. I'm just letting you know, like, if you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel and you're thinking about, hey, I'm gonna, be this super popular person on YouTube, at some point you're gonna have to cross the point where I'm at now, and I'm just sharing my experience thus far. So I don't want you to think that I'm coming across on some like not on some like moral high ground here. I'm in no disbelief. I don't think that I've made it on YouTube. I'm where I'm at, basically. And so I loved it. Or basically what I did is my trick to this is that my only trick to this is I've been consistent. I made a commitment to my audience that, like, hey, I'm going to turn out at least one video a week. And for the last almost 3 years, I've held true to that. Sometimes it's a lot of work. I mean, sometimes there's times where it's like, I don't feel like recording something today. I don't feel like, taking the camera along with me. I just don't feel it. And it's like, okay, well, I told my audience I would make at least one video a week, and I've kept up my end of the deal on that. But anyway, so how we got here was a few months back, I got an email from somebody saying like, hey, we noticed your content. We're from YouTube or from Google. I think they're the same company. And they're like, we'd like for you to join our little creators group. And I deleted it thinking that, like, yeah, good job hackers. You're not today. And I just totally thought it was crap. And then like about 7-10 days after that, they sent me another one, and they're like, hey, it says we're reaching out to you again. And so on this one, I started doing a little bit more research. I started looking, and it's like the person's email address was an @Google email address. It wasn't, and I'm not saying like @Gmail, it was like @Google.com. And it's like, well, that's unique. And I got onto like LinkedIn and looked up the person, and like, sure enough, this person does actually work for Google YouTube, the content creation team and all this stuff. And it was like, huh. And so I was blown away. I mean, when I finally took the email seriously, it's like, wait a minute, somebody at YouTube pays attention to little old me. I mean, it was exceptionally humbling. I mean, it was just one of those things where it's like, again, not saying that I've made it, but I mean, the fact that like there's somebody at YouTube that pays attention to my content was like, I was floored. I mean, it was just like, you got to be kidding me. And because I mean, this is really, this whole stat trucking thing is like my first stab at social media of on a public scale, period. I'm 47 years old. I have a private Instagram account. It's always been private. It's always going to be private. But as far as like the trucking stuff goes, I didn't mind putting that stuff out there publicly. And anyway, no social media experience, and it's kind of like I felt like I was getting some traction with it. Long story short, this group that I got invited to, I'm in there with, and I don't want to like oversell it as like being like super exclusive. It is like an invite only. I'm in there with other people who are content creators. I have mixed feelings about that word. Like, you know, when people be like, oh, you're a YouTuber, it's like, when I think of YouTuber, I think of like Mr. Beast. I think of people like that. I don't know what threshold I have to pass in my mind to go to people and be like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. This is like a hobby I take seriously, basically. But anyway, they invite me into this group. I'm in there with other content creators, and they, people who, I mean, I would say I'm kind of like if you're judging just by subscriber size, I'm kind of like the average channel in there. There's people who are in the group who have fewer subscribers than me. There are people in the group who have way more subscribers than me. I mean, they've got a couple million plus subscriber people in there, and it's like, you guys, somebody at YouTube thinks that like we belong in the same category. I mean, am I missing something here? And that's really why I've kind of stuck with the group, is like, you know, maybe YouTube sees something in me that I don't see in myself yet. I don't know. I don't really have, I mean, like I said, this is like a hobby I take seriously. I'm not doing this for like fame or fortune. I mean, I actually really do enjoy it. I get a kick out of, you know, making these videos, and you know, I have a lot of downtime in the truck. It kind of keeps my mind sharp rather than sitting there and just you know, just sitting in the truck watching TV. It's like, oh, hey, I get to edit stuff. I get to learn how to edit stuff. I get to, you know, learn how to make this scene look like this or this do this, and I'm kind of doing it like just to keep my mind sharp. But anyway, I'm rambling here. So this little group, I mean, I've learned a bunch from it. There's people in there who are, you know, way more successful at this than me, and I feel like that's how you get better at anything, is, you know, hang around people who are doing what you want to be doing better, and that's what I'm doing. So heading up to this little, I think it's like a cafe. It's a little San Diego event. They have these events all over the country, and it's you kind of have to RSVP to them, and then they say either like green light you can come, red light you can't, and I said, hey, I'm in San Diego, I'm free this night, I'd love to come, and they're like, yeah, you can come. So anyway, that's where I'm heading now. I don't know how much like recording or filming I can do in there. I mean, I don't know if this is just gonna turn into like me telling you about what happens, or if I'm gonna get any footage for inside of there, but hoping I can record in there and see what happens. But heading there now, and I'll check in with you as the night goes on. All right, made it to the Mofo. Gonna head inside this place and see what's going on. Well, tell me about your food.
How's it going? My name is Philip Wang. I have a YouTube channel called Wong Food Productions, which is like over 20 years old. But then a few years ago, I opened up a cafe. We're here at Bobo Mofo Cafe. San Diego is our third location. We started in LA though. But anyways, yeah, like we have Chinese, Taiwanese, American fusion. We have like amazing boba drinks that use real ingredients, no syrups, no powders, anything like that. And then we have some amazing items that are like a mix of East and West. So we have like a Taiwanese fried chicken sandwich. We have mapo tofu tater tots. We have Hainan chicken tacos. So it's a little bit of everything here.
You had me at fried chicken sandwich. You had me. Well,
for sure.
I'm excited to try everything.
Dude, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, so what are we working with?
Hey guys, welcome to Bobo Mofo. We got our honey walled shrimp burger, handmade shrimp patty right here, popcorn chicken. It's gonna be a Thai basil aioli on these guys. We have our pork belly rice as well. Quarter marinated egg, one of our co-founders' recipes. So yeah,
I want 3 of everything.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, we'll be here all night, Todd, so I got you. Cheers, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Thomas Gibb, and as Jack said, I run the YouTube Partner Program, so if you ever received a check from YouTube, that came from my team. If you ever got a yellow icon from YouTube, that came from my team as well. I want to welcome you to this event in San Diego. I'm actually glad that so many hands went up, because this program that we have called Creator Collective, the intent was to do events for creators in cities all across America. Obviously, you know, we had to make a good product, so it wasn't just hype. We can talk about that more later if you want to chat, but yeah, so what CK is saying, there's so much of what you guys are all doing in terms of building up your own content and brand and audience, and that is so empowering. Like, this never existed, you know, just even like 10 some years ago.
Oh yeah, I'll put my seatbelt on, sure. Holy crap, that was a lot of fun. I went into it with like almost no expectations. I met so many cool people. I'm gonna have to go through. We're taking pictures of one another's name badges. I'm terrible with names. I am absolutely terrible with names. So I'm gonna have to go back and like check out all the people I met. Cool little thing. I mean, it's kind of weird to think that like YouTube videos got me here. I mean, I met a lot of people who have way bigger channels than mine, and it's, you know, like I said, I get inspired by that. I don't look at that as like, oh, I'm missing out. Go ahead. I don't look at that as like, oh, I'm missing out. I look at that as like, what can I learn from you? You know, that kind of stuff like that. I met a ton of cool people. I felt bad. I think I was the first one to eat. I am definitely not afraid to eat in front of other people. They put the food out and everybody was like being polite, and I'm over there with like 2 or 3 drinks, a couple little, the food was delicious. And yeah, just checking everything out. So, I mean, not my usual trucking content, because I make YouTube videos and YouTube kind of got me here tonight is why I share this experience with you. But nonetheless, I appreciate you taking the trip along with me. I'll catch you on the next one.